What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the Daily Walk with Lance. This is where I take my morning Bible devotional. I take some notes down, upload it, and share it with you guys. Like I say before every video, please don't look at me as a spiritual leader, pastor, or prophet. I'm nothing like that. I'm just the average Joe trying to show other average Joes that you can incorporate more Christian, not only content, but more study in your life. That, if you'll just take 10 minutes out of your day to read the Bible, you'll start learning it more and understanding things better. And literally, like I said, like we should be doing it more than that. But if you'll even start there, you'll see it starts becoming part of your routine. And a lot of people are scared to change their routine, and this would be a good change for it. And then also today's kind of hit me kind of hard because I've been wanting to do this softball ministry, and we haven't gotten that big sponsor yet. That one that'll really pay for most of the stuff. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna pray about it. So this morning when I woke up, I was praying, you know, God, am I wanting to do this because of me, or am I doing this for the right reasons? I need help. I need you to push me in the, push me what you want me to do. Push me what your will is. And then I said, and if you would make it my devotional this morning. Leave no doubt. Give me something that it's just like, okay, stay on the path, stay steadfast. Stay looking for that sponsor. And he sent me Psalm 145, and so that's the devotional for today. So let's get into it. It's also called the Psalm of Praise. It's also a Psalm of Praise from King David. And it's the last psalm attributed to King David directly. So, this is the Bible devotional for March 5th. As always, I'm in the New American Standard Bible. And today we're in the book of Psalm, chapter 145, the whole chapter. And like I said, this is the last, for sure, psalm from King David. And it reads, I will exalt you, my God, the King, and I will bless your name forever and ever. Every day I will bless you, and I will praise your name forever and ever. Great is the Lord, and highly to be praised, and his greatness is unsearchable. One generation will praise your works to another, and will declare your mighty acts, on the glorious splendor of your majesty, and on your wonderful works. I will meditate. Oh, wait, I read that wrong. And will declare your mighty acts. On the glorious splendor of your majesty and your wonderful works I will meditate. People will speak of the power of your awesome acts, and I will tell of your greatness. They will burst forth in speaking of your abundant goodness, and will shout joyfully of your righteousness. The Lord is gracious and compassionate, slow to anger, and great in mercy. The Lord is good to all, and his mercies are over all his works. All your works will give thanks to you, Lord, and your godly ones will bless you. They will speak of the glory of your kingdom, and talk of your might, to make known to the sons of mankind your mighty acts, and the glory of the majesty of your kingdom. Your kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and your dominion endures throughout all generations. The Lord is faithful in his words, and holy in all his works. The Lord supports all who fall, and raises up all who are bowed down. The eyes of all look to you, and you give them their food in due time. You open your hand and satisfy the desire of every living thing. The Lord is righteous in all his ways, and kind in all his works. The Lord is near to all who wait, I read that wrong, I think. Oh, the Lord is near to all, not new. The Lord is near to all who call on him, to all who call on him in truth. He will fulfill the desire of those who fear him. He will also hear their cry for help and save them. The Lord watches over all who love him, but he will destroy all the wicked. My mouth will speak the praise of the Lord, and all flesh will bless his holy name forever and ever. And again, that is Psalm 145. And so let's get to my notes here. And so there's only one kingdom that will be eternal. If you notice, every great empire throughout history has fallen, whether it be Pharaoh in Egypt, or Rome, or the Ottoman Empire, or what's another good one? One that most people would know, or like Japan, or let's just go to World War I and World War II. The war, and eventually America will be the same fate. Nothing lasts forever except for God, and His kingdom will be the only kingdom that lasts forever. And now, whether end times is how America falls, or if we self implode, we don't know that yet. But eventually, in order for God's kingdom to take but God's kingdom is even outside space-time. That's why it will always be different, and it will always be eternal, whether we like it or not. It just is. And all existence needs to be giving thanks to God, because we have the option to be in that eternal kingdom. And while there is a consequence if we decide we don't want to be in it, we don't spread the same way other religions do, whether it's with Christianity, we acknowledge free will. And so it's your choice. God isn't going to force it. He's going to say, here I am, either accept me or don't. And like I said, there's an ultimate consequence if you decide not to. But it's not anything on this earth. It's once we are in the spirit realm. That's where the consequence is. And Christians aren't gonna tell people to convert or else, like another religion we know. It's here, if you want to convert, we're here. We can help you, tell you things, help teach you God's way, and how to be at least a better person. As a Christian, we know everybody's fallen short, so there's no good person, but we should still strive to be good. That's what being Christ-like is. And and David praises God for being slow to anger, loving, gracious, and merciful. Because if he wasn't, Adam would have been the end of humanity. It would have been Adam and Eve failed. I don't want to do this anymore. Humanity's done. But that's not what happened. God provided a way. And he knew the only way that it would be possible. And the only way where you would have true people wanting to be with God through free will rather than force. And while, we're supposed to fear God, it's because we fear God that we don't fear other things. Because, people talk about being afraid of the dark, but why? Because ultimately the dark answers to the Creator. It can't defeat the Creator. It's just trying to take as many people down with it. And so stop fearing that. And fear, I think it's another psalm where it says, don't fear those who can only affect your flesh. Fear the one that can affect your soul. And we should be thankful that the one who can affect our soul is slow to anger, gracious, merciful. Like, if he wasn't those things, we would have been screwed a long time ago. And God cares for all creation, even the broke and the needy. That's why people want to assume they've done too much. or they've been so atheistic that God would never accept them now. But that's just not true. God God want because usually those are the people that are in a position to where if they changed, they're gonna bring a whole lot more people with them than what's the old saying? Jesus will go out for the one sheep and leave the 99 on the mountain. And that broken person who is looking for the right answers is that sheep. It's that one sheep that Jesus wants to go get. And that's not to say he doesn't care about the whole flock. He does. That's why there's sheepdogs and other shepherds. But Jesus will always go after the one that's trying to go astray and try to bring him back home. And like I said, it's free will. So and God says the only thing he'll do is he'll knock once. He'll say, "I am the real God," one time. Now, for other people, he has done it multiple times because he can see outside space time. So he can tell if a person will ultimately end up going down the right road or not. And he wants us all to come back to him. He doesn't want anybody to go astray. And that includes people who've already done all kinds of evil. He still wants to save their soul. I have a problem with anybody who says someone's too far gone unless they've been told by God that heart is hardened. Like, because it also says in the Bible that we will be judged by the way we judge others. And so that's why I always say, you know what, maybe I'm not the right person to reach them. Or maybe they do have a hardened heart. But there's always a chance they could turn around. And Paul is the perfect example of that. He was as evil as you can be. Well, for the most part. Some people see other things as more evil, but he was responsible for all kinds of evil. And he turned around and became one of the most important disciples in the Bible. And in today's world, people make one mistake and we write them off. We get in one argument, we write them off. And we got to stop doing that, because if Paul can turn around, people today can still turn around. And we are to pass God's history from one generation to another. So as we get older, our major purpose and responsibility, number one, is to share the good news and to pass it on to the generation that's going to be taking over. Because every generation ends up passing, power, authority, all that stuff on to the next one. And it's our responsibility to make sure the next generation knows who God is and how mighty he is and how powerful he is and how slow to anger he is, how gracious and merciful he is. And fear God alone. And I skipped over one. Living in God's will bring what your desires from him. He will answer those prayers. But the big thing in there is that it has to be part of God's will. Because if it's not part of God's will, he's not going to give it to you. But you will find out when you stop doubting and you start trying to live in God's will as much as you can, then you see more how to pray. What is, I don't want to say the correct way to pray, because there's no necessarily incorrect way, but there's it's kind of like how there's different ways to greet people, and it's not necessarily that any one way is right or wrong, but the appropriate way, I would say is the right word there. Make sure you're not only in his will, but you're not holding any unforgiveness. You're not doubting. It's, you know what, God, I want to live in your will, and if this is in your will, it will be done. If it's not in your will, it won't be done. I'm cool with either. That's where you have to get. You have to be cool with whether it happens or not, because if it's not in God's will, you don't want it to happen. I promise you that. I've been there, done that. You don't want that. And sometimes it means you get told no on some things. But also, once you start learning what God's will is, then you start knowing, okay, I should be asking for this. I should be seeking this or seeking that more than worldly things. And the wicked, oh wait, no, I skipped. And so fear God alone, and He will save you. So that means any situation that you're going through out in the world, if even if it's something where you're scared, you say, you know what, God, you're bigger than all of this. I fear you alone. You will either bring me through this or not. He will save you. And sometimes that means you go on to heaven, and sometimes that means you get out of that situation. But He will always save you when you ask to be saved. And the wicked will ultimately face absolute destruction. And that's the other side of the coin. That's the people who were shown the truth and they rejected it. And this is after the hardened heart. This is after they're in Sheol. And God gives us chances after chances, and that's why eventually evil gets thrown into the lake of fire, so that evil can't affect us anymore. There will be no more temptation one day. And bless and praise God no matter what. And so whether it's, like I said, sometimes the answered prayer is no. Sometimes it's yes. Sometimes He wants you to be persistent. And I think that's what my message today is be persistent. I know God's will is that He wants me to go and share the gospel. And if that means I can do it through softball, that means I'm on the right track at least. And so I got confirmation from it today. And, while the money's not there yet, it'll be provided one way or another. I don't know how, I don't know when, I don't know by who, but I'm staying persistent, because that's basically what this whole thing's about, is if you're living in God's will, keep asking, keep praying, keep fasting, keep trying to be in the will. Don't back down when you're getting ready to go to the next level in your relationship with God. All right, y'all. I think that's going to do it for today. If this is the first time on one of my videos, if you would, please drop me a follow, hit the like button, share the video. Today, I might stream today. It'll be, I try to go live from time to time, and it'll be Christian gaming content. And so if you like to watch gaming and you like it to be family friendly, catch me tonight on Rumble. It's rumble.com/RageLB, and it'll probably be like 3-4 o'clock. I don't know yet. I got some more stuff to get done, so I don't know exactly what time, but be looking for me over there. All right, y'all. If I don't see you later tonight, I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.